As we all know, the university is celebrating its 50th anniversary or Golden Jubilee this year. And Alafua campus is the first campus celebrating this awesome event for us. And this series of debates is part of the campus's contributions to the overall celebrations of the Golden Jubilee year of the university. I would like now to welcome indeed our panel of judges. We thank you all for taking the time to come out and agree to come out to judge the debates. We have Ms. Shirley Devi, who is our very own senior librarian on Alafua campus. And next to Shirley is Lafyonga Frank Lesa, who is a program associate with UNDP. On Lesa's left is Luan Yufi Ayono, an MA student and current USPSA president on this campus. So welcome indeed, panel of judges. I also welcome the two teams who will be debating this morning on the motion. USP has lived up to its ideals in the last 50 years. So the affirmative team, of course, is Team Pacific TAFE on my right, who will be speaking for the motion. On my left is the opposition, who will be speaking against the motion. Each team is supposed to have 3 debaters and 1 alternative. Now I will introduce them, and I would like you ladies and gentlemen to stand up as I introduce yourselves. From Team Pacific TAFE, speaking for the motion are debater 1 and leader of the team, Salvadius Tolefoa, Foundation Science student. Debater number 2, Ruta Phillips, Foundation Arts student. Debater number 3, Lily Elder, Foundation Science. The alternative is still making his way down to the debating room. From the Falet team, speaking against the motion are debater 1, Simeanamulu Fiti Lapua. Debater 2, Victory Tuala. By the way, Simeanamulu is a BA LLB student. Victory Tuala as well is a BA LLB student. And debater number 3 is Levaula Titimaya, also a BA LLB student.
The topic we are to argue on this morning is USP has lived up to its ideals for the past 50 years. Ideals, as mentioned in the topic, simply points to the university's vision, which is to achieve excellence and innovation through for sustainable developments of the South Pacific. This vision has been tackled by the university by putting down its objectives and, of course, its mission. And this morning, we, Team PACTAFE, 100% support the motion. To fight this battle, we have come across 4 main points discussing first, sustainable developments. Second, how the university has achieved excellence by its growing number of graduates and its accreditations internationally gained. Third, how the university has achieved excellence by introducing women empowerment in the South Pacific, by closing the gap in gender inequality, and last but definitely not the least, how our university has provided the people of the South Pacific with entrepreneurship. Elaborating on our first point, for the vision of our university is to achieve excellence and innovation through for sustainable development of the South Pacific. In the past 50 years, our university has non-stop provided very high quality education for the students of the university. So with that, its different disciplines and its different fields, the graduates of the university have gained very good information and knowledge and ways to not only save our environment, but also to at least slow down climate change. And not only the people of the university or the graduates of the university are gaining knowledge from the university. Just last year in the Solomon Islands, a book called The Impacts of Mining was launched. And no doubt a great effect of this has gone outside of the university, giving people knowledge about how it is mining could largely affect our environment. Not only that, but secondly, how Online learning has been introduced in the university. It has helped our Pacific lessen the number of acres of land and trees that has been destroyed annually just for the manufacturing of books and resources that our university uses every year. And hardly, no doubt, these resources are hardly enough for our university. With the introduction of online learning, 60,000 acres of land, which is equivalent to 6 billion trees, are saved every single year. And that, my friend, that is where sustainable development comes in. With the introduction of online learning, our South Pacific can develop without harming our environments. We can develop without having to cut down millions of acres of our land. And with the introduction of online learning, we have helped the South Pacific become one factory-less, having to destroy our environment. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard what the opposing team has said. However, we beg to differ. This is because you mentioned that it lessens the usage of trees for the resources of this university. However, there is no relevant data to indicate this. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the opposing team, and we say USP hasn't lived up to its ideals in the past 50 years. We love this university. USP has become a second home for most of the students in USP. And we were hoping not to speak against the university today, especially in a time like this where we are celebrating its 50th anniversary. However, in order to move forward, we must be realistic, put our emotions aside, and address the real issues in this university, that if it needs to be improved, it hopes to educate and produce high-caliber education achievements. In opposition, and in saying that USP hasn't lived up to its ideals, we will be looking at the ideals as worded in the vision of this university. Like every educational institution, there are ideals to aspire to. USP, 50 years ago, set out 4 missions to fulfill its vision. Today, we will show you how these ideals or visions, through its mission, haven't been achieved. We are here today to show you how these missions haven't been achieved. For had they been all achieved, they would have been now given the label achievements. But due to time limitation, we will only address 3. I am speaker number 1, and my job is to show you the ideal or USP's vision through its mission number 3 and how it hasn't been fulfilled. Speaker number 2 will discuss how the university, through its vision and through its mission number 2, hasn't been achieved. Finally, speaker number 3 will highlight to you how mission number 1 is far from being achieved. For my part, what is mission number 3? Mission number 3 is about the university providing relevant, cost-effective, and sustainable solutions in order to meet the challenges of the Pacific. One of the main challenges of the Pacific is its health sector and its abhorring financial crisis. According to the World Health Organization, we Pacific Islanders are prone to health complications due to climate change, and the level of risk we face yearly will only increase with time. Moreover, according to the Samoa National Health Accounts in 2010 to 2011, we have spent 51 million tala to import medical supplies. The main challenge is that we've spent so much money, but our people are still at risk because we either choose not to use these medical supplies or we only use it as a last resort. This is because, according to an article published in 2004, many Pacific Islanders believe that most of the distributions and the risk factors related to illnesses that has affected the Pacific region is unique to the Pacific region itself, and this was later proven factual. According to the World Health Organization Traditional Medicine Annual Health Report 2015, all Pacific Island people first seek health assistance from traditional healers. This is because traditional medicine has been passed down from generations to generations, and given the fact that we believe in that the illnesses that we face, that we are at risk to, is caused by our own environment. The problem with choosing traditional medicine is that most plants that traditional healers believe that contain medicinal properties do not have any written scientific proof or background that licensed doctors that can use with absolute certainty without recurring more health issues. To build capacity within the USP, the School of Agriculture can enhance its curriculum by helping identify and provide scientific knowledge and background research to use what's around as means of medicine. Through the USP, it then provides relevant, cost-effective, and suitable solutions for USP's nation main challenge of health sector and how it's causing financial uproar within our Pacific nation.
Hello, everyone. It was confidently said by the opposition that USP has provided 51 million for the health medical supplies of the people. Well, if you're saying that's a negative, then I think that you're wrong, because USP has provided for its people, and I think that's a positive thing, and we should embrace it and use it and offer the people what we have. For my arguments, I have divided it up into 2 points. My first point is to argue that USP has achieved excellence in the past 50 years. For instance, back in 1971, USP had its first graduation, which graduated 49 students. 46 years later, in 2017, USP has reached about 50,000 graduates, which is an excellent achievement and meets the objective number 11, which was extracted from the USP Strategic Plan 2013 to 2018, and it states, increase the number of graduation rates to improve the experience at USP. But that's not all. There are these international accrediting bodies and committees that gave USP 27 international accreditations. Yes, I repeat, USP received 27 international accreditations, and out of these, 6 programs are internationally recognized, which means that if you graduate from USP, your qualifications will be accepted and approved in the Pacific Islands and worldwide. This exceeds the term excellence as mentioned in the USP vision by my first speaker, because it gives students that are graduating an opportunity and a chance to be employed anywhere in the world without facing any obstacles for gaining any employment that they want. And that is all because of the excellent achievements of USP. This meets another USP ideal, objective number 12, which states to increase international student recruitment and internalization of student experience. My second point will simply argue that USP has achieved innovation. Well, if you're wondering how, out of the 1,774 graduates of USP in March 2018 at Ocala campus, 58% of them are women. More than half of the USP graduates are women, which meets another USP goal, objective number 21, and it states, to achieve USP's role as an exemplar regional institution in tertiary education. Gender inequality in education has been an issue in the past years, and there's no doubt that it is still an issue now and will be in the future. So if you're thinking that 58% of women graduates at USP is just a number, you're wrong. It is not just a number. It is a fact. It is a statistic. It is one step closer to closing the gap of gender inequality, not only at USP, but for the Pacific Islands. For that reason, USP has met its vision and achieved objective number 21, because the single evidence proves and supports that USP has improved and innovated women empowerment in tertiary education, which also makes USP an exemplary and good role model for the regional institutions in the Pacific Islands. Thank you.
As stated by the mighty opposition team, there are growing numbers of graduates and enrollees, vision has been achieved, and so forth. We like to disagree with that. Reason being, they tend to forget that our topic is USP has lived up to its ideals in the past 50 years in Samoa. They have been using examples about Solomon, about the Laudala stats, and how a lot of women have graduated from it. That's a good thing. But they forget that the point being, we are in Samoa and we're talking about the impacts of USP in Samoa, not anywhere else. They've also talked about the growing numbers of graduates and enrollees. We, however, disagree. If you see in the USP page, fact sheets, there has been, since 2012 till last year, there has been a dramatic fall from graduates and enrollees in the Alafua campus itself. I am not lying, and it is really provable. Vision has not been achieved in USP, and I like to emphasize on the incomplete projects that the USP has out of in the recent years, out of 20 projects, only one has been completed. So they've been talking about how the USP has had a major impact. They have, but on other campuses, and we are talking mostly about Samoa. Honorable judges, moderator, timekeeper, and the mighty opposition, I am the second speaker for our team, and I'll be focusing on disagreeing with the mission number 2, which is to deliver the benefits of advanced research and its application. I believe, without a shadow of doubt, that USP has equipped the students with knowledge on the agricultural field through the use of advanced research, but the problem is, they do not apply it. There is no application. In the past 50 years since USP has existed in Samoa, we, the people, have witnessed catastrophes, disasters, diseases, and devastations, and we haven't properly been free of it. USP has equipped students with the knowledge to help our island countries withstand climate change and global warming, but unfortunately, students have not applied that knowledge to reality. But it clearly states in the mission that USP delivers benefits of advanced research and application, emphasizing on the application. So how can USP promise that when history speaks a different story? Before taking you on a trip in the past, I want you to bear in mind that USP has not contributed anything to the betterment of our island nation other than educating students which do not apply their knowledge to problems faced by the people. In the 1970s till present, Samoa suffered crop diseases called bunchitau, which infects bananas. It had a dramatic effect on both the people and the economy, for they were reliant on it. As a result, banana mass production hit rock bottom, and my question is, where was USP and their advanced research and well-educated students when we needed them? Following this event a few years later, we came up with a solution to the banana disease. They made a genetically modified type of banana that could withstand any type of common disease and pests. It was the hybrid banana, perfect for any tropical weather regardless the season. And like I stated before, USP and their well-educated students had nothing to do with this success. Also in the 70s, Samoa suffered a lack of coconuts due to the rhinoceros beetle. These giant beetles cause a distinctive diamond-shaped pattern cut out of coconut leaves. An adult beetle burrows into the tops of the coconut trees, then down towards the center. As it burrows, it cuts through the new unopened leaves. So when the leaves open later, large wedges of the leaves are missing. The damage is serious enough to reduce the number of coconuts produced by the tree. And in this time, USP and their well-educated students were nowhere to be found. What I'm coming from is that Samoa has suffered so much from crop diseases in the past, and knowing that there is a USP center here which emphasizes on agriculture, you would have thought that they would have helped alleviate these problems. But unfortunately not. Following my point, I also like to highlight another major issue. The so-called delivering the benefits of advanced research and its application has been rather inconsistent lately. My facts paint a large picture of incomplete projects. 20 projects in particular by the USP Advanced Research has had. Out of these 20, for the past years, only one was completed, which highly states inconsistency. And my last point is that USP to be blunt, USP has been lying to us. A research officer in the USP called Letila Talimaitonga stated in 2012 that it was then that USP had prioritized specific island needs such as environmental and climate change. There were 13 projects which were designed to counter specific problems, but it had just been prioritized in 2012. Thank you.
It was so interesting to listen to your dull reasons why you think USP hasn't met its ideals. Generally speaking, to your second speaker, you mentioned that USP, you brought out Samoa in specific. But USP, as we all know, is made up of developing countries. And if there's a solution to what you actually brought out, it's that we're still developing in a way, and that it doesn't really specifically mean that if there's an economical problem or environmental problem that USP has to answer to the country. And as your first speaker mentioned, to provide communities and countries with relative, effective, cost, and sustainable solution with entrepreneurship. My point basically is to bring out the entrepreneurship in the mission. As we all know, USP has given back to its communities and countries through exports, entrepreneurship, right? Over 15% of the Pacific Islands export commodities are provided by USP. So, with that saying, USP has met its ideals. And with what my former teammates said, that USP has met its ideal environmentally and socially. And now financially, USP has become what it is made for, which is shaping its future through its ideals. Entrepreneurship in USP has become effective, especially here in Samoa. You mentioned the graduates, right? 5% of them are entrepreneurs who are now successful in providing for the country, specifically saying Samoa. So, if you're saying that USP hasn't met its ideals, then why is it still going on now for 50 years? Why didn't it end back there? Why is it that USP is still striving for 50 years now? Wow, 50 years, seriously. And within those 50 years, entrepreneurs all over the Pacific have become successful. Specifically here in Samoa. One of the main exporters are Aliki. And in a way, Aliki was a graduate from USP, yes. And that proves my theory, and thank you.
Okay, so your so-called third speaker said developing countries, the word term, developing. Is that not a fact? I would like to back up my so-called second speaker by the fact in which you say developing country, that is a fact. But also, you say 5% of entrepreneurs after 50 years, is that how much in which out of 100 individuals of entrepreneurs, 100%, only 5% after 50 years, that is irrelevant, and that is a majority of statistical analysis in which you've given us. That I say, I would like to take back to the motion that we oppose that USP has not provided effective and relevant sustainable developments after 50. It has not lived up to its ideals after 50 years. And the mission in which I like to tackle is that USP provides comprehensive range of excellence and relevant tertiary qualifications. For this, I'm saying Okay, it is in general knowledge that there are 4 faculties in which within USP alone, such as being, in total there are 29 courses. What I'm about to say is that I'm about to tackle the entire topic from not only by the relevant and comprehensive tertiary qualifications which the students have accepted and taken, but we have to take into consideration the impact in which they have done after they graduated. For example, okay, it is done in the USP survey, and so-called is that about 0.1% of graduates have graduated from USP only to tackle agricultural needs. Another one saying is that 2.28% of engineers have graduated from USP alone. Yet alone, in specific, in total, 4.3% of US engineers are needed, and only about 2.28% has only graduated from USP alone. So is that how you're telling me? And alone, government dependencies. What I'm saying about this point is that I've done for my research that Ministry of Foreign Affairs highlight criteria in which the Pacific Islands need, such as being Nauru and Tuvalu. They highlight that renewable energy. They are asking for individuals and students to take up science alone to tackle such needs. But then Nauru and Tuvalu have been part of the USP region alone. Where exactly has USP's qualification been in that time? And the entire time alone. Okay. From alone, another one being that USP students alone being accustomed to the work life. After graduating from USP, the work life has become a challenging and very significant aspects of a student's life, being that I witnessed that as a law student, such task of challenges is being communications. As law students, we are tasked to translate the legal language by using the indigenous and native language of our society. And that has been a common challenge within the Pacific Islands. From this factor, I'm saying that USP states that it provides comprehensive range of excellent, relevant, and tertiary qualifications. Yet our government depends on other institutions alone to meet these type of criteria of our Pacific Island. Yet USP alone is here in the Pacific. How is it that it hasn't answered those type of questions or criteria? Another one being is that being accustomed, as you can say, the majority of graduates have graduated from here alone, but that's not enough. What I'm saying is that graduating with a paper does not live up to the essential need of a workforce or the work life. Such is why I make myself as an example as lawyers' communication skills. And Okay, alone, in conclusion, USP says that comprehensive range of excellent and relevant tertiary qualifications, and yet there are 2 factors in which I've presented to you, our so-called Pacific Islands dependencies on institutional and other foreign institutions to live up to criteria, and last but not least is the graduates leaving USP alone to accustom themselves to the work life. That is all. Thank you, moderator, mighty opponents, panel judges, timekeeper. Thank you.
2 minutes are up, and we now call on the leader of the affirmative team to please close up your arguments.
Thank you, opposition team. I am impressed by how you all elaborated on your side. Unfortunately, from where I stand this morning, I still stand for the motion. Speaker number 2 of my team has mentioned how USP has had 60,000 qualifications since its establishment. I think that is quite enough to say that USP has definitely lived up to its ideals for the past 50 years. Not only that, but because of our strategic plan, Objective 11 has been tackled as to how it is the number of graduates have increased. Even if it's not in Samoa, the University of the South Pacific is a regional university. So basically, the success in Fiji is also the success in Samoa. How it is knowledge that is taught in Fiji is also taught here through online classes that it has been introduced in the university. Not only that, but objective number 21 has been achieved by the university. To how it is the gap in gender inequality has been closed with the growing number of females that are graduating each year, like how it is 58% of of the graduates from last year in Laukala were females, whereas in the beginning in 1971, only 24% were females. That is a very good improvement from 24 to 58. That, to me, I think that is a very good achievement for the University of the South Pacific. That is one step closer to living up to its ideals. Not only that, Speaker number 3 of my team has spoken on the fact that it has provided our people with entrepreneurship. The knowledge that they gain from learning in USP, that is the knowledge that they are applying on their environments, on the things that they have. That is how they are becoming entrepreneurs. They are using the knowledge that they gain to make what they have good enough, not only to be exported, but to be sold locally. Like one agriculture teacher that was here last year named Mulisalo used the knowledge that he gained from here, the University of the South Pacific here in Samoa. Now he is one of the largest suppliers of exports. Now with that, we are actually gaining money. He's not only gaining money, but also our government. So that is also another step forward. That is also another step closer to achieving the vision, which is to achieve excellence and innovation for sustainable development. And when we talk about innovation, we talk about the new ideas that has been produced here in the university. We don't just teach what has been done for the past 50 years. We also produce new ideas. We also come up with new ways. And those are the new ways that our students, our graduates, are applying to our environments, not only here in Samoa, but also regionally in the South Pacific. So our team still stands for the motion and say that yes, USP has lived up to its ideals for the past 50 years and will continue to live up to its ideals for the next 50 years. Thank you.
Just sit. No. Panel of judges, moderator, timekeeper, mighty opponent team. Before we came here, we were told that for the last round, we were only supposed to summarize our points. Therefore, I'm going to go straight to conclude our points by saying that we, the opposing team, once again state and stand firm against the move that USB hasn't lived up to its ideal in the past 50 years. In order to move forward, we must be realistic. In order for USB to improve and able to fulfill its vision, you've heard my team's arguments on how the USB hasn't lived up to its ideals. This is accurate through how our Pacific Island countries' main challenges are still in place when USB's vision clearly states achieving excellence, innovation, and sustainable development in the Pacific countries. Mission number 3 isn't fulfilled because Pacific Island countries are still spending millions of dollars on importing medicine, when in fact, our own people, our Pacific Island people, prefer our own traditional medicine. But it can be when USB provides the capacity within USB to enhance the curriculum through the School of Agriculture to provide scientific background needed for medical doctors to use traditional medicine for our Pacific Island countries. Mission number 3, stated by speaker number 2, and his main ideas is that Samoa has suffered so much from the crop diseases in the past. And knowing that there's an agricultural USB in Samoa, you thought that they'd alleviate this problem with some solutions. Unfortunately, with the statistic that he's provided, this isn't the case. The so-called achieving the benefits of advanced research and its application has been inconsistent. Projects have been incomplete in the past years, and where the Pacific Island countries' needs are prioritized. Mission number 1 states by speaker number 3 to provide Pacific people with comprehensive range of excellent and relevant tertiary qualifications. However, this also hasn't been achieved. As speaker number 3 stated, this hasn't been achieved because the government tends to select applications from graduates of other institutions other than the USP. It brings me to conclude that the past 50 years, these missions hasn't been fulfilled. Therefore, it enforces our stand against the moods that USP hasn't lived up to its ideals in the past 50 years. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's been an hour now since the debate has happened, and we have all heard and seen the sentiments expressed. I will now give this time to the panel of judges to give their feedback.
Thank you, Sita. Firstly, thank you for organizing this, and well done to both teams. Quite impressed with the points that were raised from both sides. So just a few comments. You guys mentioned along the side of traditional medicine. Yes, it is a crucial and very important issue. And as lawyers, one problem that we have is the intellectual properties. One example, very good example, is the mamala plant that we have. Now they are able to synthetically produce the prostatin nets, so they don't need a mamala plant anymore. They just synthetically produce it and then do whatever they want with it. So I don't know if we're getting any royalties from that. Just wanted to say I'm very impressed with the second speaker on this side. As a well-educated agriculture student that's not been able to apply much, you brought along some very good points, and I think it's one thing that we can look at. And apart from that, malo love and well done to both teams. After. The winner of this debate of USP has lived up to its ideals in the past 50 years. It's a very close margin, and the winner is the opposition side. Malola.
And so we have now heard the judges, and we offer a very warm congratulations to Team Opposition for coming up triumphant in this competition. All is not lost on your side. You did put up a very, very good fight. Congratulations for that as well. Remember, this debate is not, a debate to the death. It's another platform for you to. It's a platform for you to boost up your speaking skills, your public speaking skills, and in doing so, fulfill one of the key objectives and attributes of the university, which is communication for you, its soon-to-be graduates. Okay? So, audience, please, let's give a big round of applause for the